This week, I love crime. I was reading up about some crimes in New York City, as you do in your free time. And the day after Notre Dame burned, a man pulled up in a white van and parked illegally in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral. He got out. This is a true story. Look in the news. He had 4 gallons of gasoline, 7 bottles of lighter fluid, and 6 lighters in his hands, and he starts walking in St. Patrick's Cathedral. But this is New York, so the most surprising thing about that so far is that he found a free spot, even illegally, in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral. He's walking in, and the security guards, New York's best and brightest, go, "Hey, man, what you doing?" He had to know this question was coming. You have to know. That's not usual church attire, 7 bottles of lighter fluid. Usually it's like 1 max for the candles, right? And he just goes, "I'm cutting through." You know, the famous New York shortcut right through St. Patrick's Cathedral, the one that everyone's talking about it. Yeah, I'm just cutting through. And they go, "Why?" Reasonable question. He goes, "Oh, my van's outside. It's out of gas." These people don't turn around and say, "Guess what? You're carrying 4 gallons of gasoline." They say, "Let's go check and make sure that's true. Come with me to the van." He's carrying 4 gallons of gasoline. Even if it had run out of gas, he's got it on stack. New York's best and brightest isn't bothered. They go out, they call the real cops in. Thank God, right? It's about to get a lot more smart, right? No, the van isn't out of gas. I'm surprised already. I'm shocked at this point. The van is not out of gas. So like, "Yeah, we're going to take you into custody," okay? He's not taken into custody. Here the story gets a little dry, but the police commissioner comes out that night, and his official report is, "We do not know what he intended to do with the supplies."
Good evening and welcome back to 49 News. I'm Joshua Desiderio.
And I'm Gina Casenza. Tonight we will be taking a look at things happening on and around UD's campus while also taking a step back for worldwide views. 49 News starts right now.
On October 7th, the Delaware Supreme Court has prohibited voting by mail in the 2022 general election because it violates the Delaware Constitution. This mandate has been placed in effect immediately, meaning if you have requested a vote by mail ballot, you will no longer receive one in the mail. In its place, you can now vote by absentee ballot, in-person early voting, and in-person voting at your assigned voting place. According to the CDC, most Americans no longer have to wear a mask in indoor public spaces. Data from the CDC shows that 79% of the country is in a low area of community outbreak, and 20% are in a medium-level outbreak area. Only 1% of Americans live in an area with a high COVID-19 community level, where masking indoors is still recommended. The CDC still suggests that those who are at a high risk for a severe case of COVID-19 should still consider wearing a mask, no matter where they live. Artificial intelligence has begun to be seen as a looming presence in the art world.
In the past,
There's been a lot of controversy regarding the use of artificial intelligence in the modern workplace. This is especially true for minimum wage workers and jobs. However, though this turned out to be nothing more than a fear, there is a very real threat that artificial intelligence is beginning to impose on a different community, the art community. Over the past few months, artificial intelligence programs such as Crayon, Dream by Wombo, and Midjourney AI have been making a growing impact on the art world. All of these programs work in similar ways, with the user typing in a text prompt and the program generating a finished piece of art based off of that prompt. What do artists at the University of Delaware think of this? The reactions are mixed.
It's exciting or kind of cool to think about because it gives you like good reference photos if you're trying to like get at least an idea in your head. But it's also very scary because like you don't know for sure if it's actually AI or an actual artist.
I think it's really exciting. I mean, I think there's a lot of like accessibility with that. I think it allows for kind of like a new perspective on art as well.
Additionally, it is becoming increasingly common for AI art to appear in competitions generally reserved for traditional art, which has upset artists as well. However, according to Juliette D., a communications and media professor at UD, those who generate AI art could very well be within their right to claim these pieces as their own.
From the standpoint of copyright law, it's what is called transformative. In other words, you can take something and change it, and if you change it enough, then you're not guilty of copyright infringement.
While these issues may seem inconsequential for the time being, there is a real possibility that the controversies around AI art are just getting started. I'm Joshua Desiderio, 49 News.
After the recent storm, many shrimp have been washing up on local shores. This past Wednesday, a large number of mantis shrimp were reported at Dewey Beach and Delaware Seashore State Park. These crustaceans are known for their aggressive behavior, so stay away from them. The Atlantic mantis shrimps are found from Cape Cod to the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the coast of Brazil. Be sure to exercise caution. Climate change is a huge topic right now, especially for scientists and passionate members of younger generations. Find out what the University of Delaware is doing to increase knowledge surrounding climate change following Hurricane Fiona and Ian. Samaj Sanders has more.
For many people, there's only 4 seasons: fall, winter, spring, and summer. In a meteorologist's world, there's a 5th season, hurricane season, running from June 1st until November 30th, marking peak tropical activity in the Atlantic Ocean. This year's hurricane season has been relatively quiet. However, Hurricanes Ian and Fiona came about and battered Florida and parts of the Caribbean in September.
Well, for both of those storms, this season, the sea surface temperatures are very high. So for most tropical systems, for all tropical systems, the key ingredient is having water vapor being evaporated from the surface. And you need temperatures, water temperatures above 80 degrees or so Fahrenheit. And we have abnormally warm temperatures right now, both in the Gulf of Mexico and in the South Atlantic.
Warm ocean temperatures is the key ingredient for a strong tropical system, and climate change is making that ingredient available. Climate change is impacting all facets of our life, from destructive storms to widespread raging wildfires. The University of Delaware recognizes that and has implemented initiatives around climate change literacy through their newly founded Climate Hub. One of their founding interns, Christina Schuler, states that the hub was created to increase knowledge surrounding climate change.
Back in January, I started going to weekly meetings, so I would go to meetings on Tuesdays or maybe Wednesdays, and I would be able to speak with different faculty and student members about ideas for our Earth Day celebration and also our climate teach-in, which was back in May of 2022.
With climate change unraveling and displaying the consequences of human activity, it is important to be proactive and take initiative to draw attention to the issue.
But I think one of the most important parts is that there is a lot of hope. Every little action we do now will contribute to less warming and less damage in future generations and future decades.
For more information surrounding UD's climate change programming, head on over to udel.edu/climate change hub. There, you can find a complete overview of any upcoming events, seminars, and guest lecturers. And also, you can learn how to be more literate in regards to climate change. For STN 49 News, I'm Samaj Sanders.
I'm Laura Daly with your current weather and forecast for the week. We are on a sunny streak as we head into the beginning of this week. Today, we continue to see beautiful sunny skies and mild temperatures that led to many students enjoying the lovely October weather. The morning started out quite chilly, but temperatures climbed quickly throughout the day. Check out the scene at Little Goat from earlier today. It was a great day to grab a friend and support your local coffee shop. Despite the sunny day, temperatures were not quite warm enough for most students to break back out the shorts. Sweater weather is here to stay as more students were seen dressing for the fall season. If we take a look at our current conditions from this evening, skies remain clear with a light breeze. These conditions are likely to stay this way during the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are sitting nice and mild at 56 degrees with a dew point of 46 degrees. We have dry air sitting over Newark, bringing low humidity and a low chance of rain for the next couple days. Taking a look at the national satellite and radar from UD SEMA, we can see that most of the continental U.S. is also pretty quiet. We got some storms popping up in Texas and Oklahoma, then all the way up in the northeast towards Maine, but nothing of major concern. If we zoom into our region, there are some clouds passing through upstate Pennsylvania into New Jersey, but it looks like those clouds will not reach Delaware, hinting that tomorrow will also be a very clear day. Let's turn to the tropics, where I'm not tracking too much formation right now. There is a disturbance off the east coast of Mexico, which has a low chance of further development, as well as remnants of Tropical Storm Julia floating around in Central America. I will keep an eye out for future tropical development in the Atlantic that could in any way affect our region, and we will be sure to keep you informed here at STN 49. Because the sun is setting earlier and there is a lack of cloud cover over the area, be prepared for temperatures to drop quickly tonight, as the low is expected to be at 46 degrees. Moving on to our 5-day forecast, the sun will continue to shine tomorrow and temperatures are looking beautiful for the next couple days, reaching 70 degrees. Then Wednesday night going into all day Thursday, rain is coming our way with some possible thunderstorms developing Thursday afternoon. Finally, as we get to Friday and into next weekend, the sun will come back out, but colder temperatures will take the rain's place with highs in the low 60s. That's all for your weather update tonight. I'm Laura Daly.
Good evening, everyone. I am Meg Rossler, and this is your entertainment news update. Rapper Kanye West had several tweets removed and was kicked off of Instagram last Friday for several posts involving anti-Semitism and White Lives Matter. Hollywood stars like Jamie Lee Curtis, Sarah Silverman, and Jack Antonoff are some of the few who have spoken out against West's harmful tweets, saying that his words are hurtful and for him to stop his harmful rhetoric. This is not the first time that Ye has been banned from social media, and seeing some of his recent actions, it does not seem like this will be the last time either. Football star Tom Brady and former supermodel Gisele Bündchen are officially filing for divorce after the couple split up in the summer. It's been reported that there have been several marriage issues for years, with Gisele threatening divorce to Tom. However, the factor that really stuck the nail in the coffin was Brady returning to the NFL after promising retirement to his wife and family. After Queen Elizabeth's passing just over a month ago now, many have been wondering how her iconic corgis have been since. The dogs, Muick and Sandy, brought millions of people to tears when footage of them was shown awaiting the Queen's coffin at her final resting place. Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, shared an update with the public regarding the Queen's furry friends and says they have been living at home with her and have been on great behavior. Prince William even added that he is sure that those dogs will be spoiled rotten in their new home. The trailer for Selena Gomez's documentary, My Mind and Me, was just released this past week and is being perceived very positively by viewers and fans alike. After being diagnosed with lupus and bipolar disorder in her 20s, her story sheds light on issues that people have been afraid to discuss in the past. And Gomez is only 30 years old, but has been a crucial voice and advocate for mental health awareness, and wants her journey to be able to help others through theirs. The documentary will be coming out on November 4th for streaming on Apple TV+. Just a couple releases to keep on your radar. The 1975's new album, Being Funny in a Foreign Language, is coming out this Friday, October 14th. And the album is said to be similar to their most self-recognized first titled album, which listeners and fans are very excited for. Taylor Swift's very anticipated 10th studio album, Midnights, is set to be released at, you guessed it, midnight, on October 21st. The album will feature 13 tracks, as well as a collaboration with Lana Del Rey. On the movie and television side of things, Halloween Ends will be coming out this Friday, continuing the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. And in the coming weeks, new seasons of Love is Blind and American Horror Story are highly anticipated. That's it for tonight's entertainment news. I'm Meg Rossler, and we'll be back with UD News after this short break.
Tonight on 49 News.
Here are tonight's top stories.
President Harker announced his resignation as university president.
UD is also named an A+ school for B+ students. Look at us, guys. We're adequate.
I'm Kyle Coulter, and welcome to the 49 News Blue End Sports Report.
I think we're a top 10 team in the nation. We've had so many injuries and illnesses, and I give them a ton of credit.
Welcome to the Bi-Weekly Show. I'm your generic brand host, Shannon Polson, and we have quite the show for you tonight.
Shannon, I'm the director. I think I would know more than anyone when the live show is.
A pair of crushed beer cans. If you listen closely, you can hear its definite mating call.
I was 13 and I was too busy to go to the bathroom for 48 hours. That's what I said.
It is time for Hot Topics. Here at Real Talk, we do a little something called Hot Topics, which are a weekly dose of what's going on around the world.
And I know somebody out there is wondering, what exactly is Netflix Nation?
Make sure to catch us at stn49.com/live. I'm Melissa Duarte. Good night.
The University of Delaware is making enhancements to make campus a safer place to live, learn, and work. They've made steps in evolving campus safety, preventing and responding to relationship violence, and increasing engagement with students. President Asanas has stated the advancement of campus safety, well-being, and trust will continue to be among the university's highest priorities. On September 20th, UD hosted the 2022 North American Wind Energy Academy Conference. Guests were welcomed by conference organizers and directors. The conference was broken up into 6 parts, including sessions on wind turbines and electrical grid integration. Christina Archer, a conference organizer, was pleased with how smooth the discussions ran and is thankful for the success of the conference. The National Agenda Speaker Series is back just in time for the midterm elections. Clicks, views, follows. Up in the polls, down in the polls. What does all of this mean? When it comes to elections, especially high-stakes elections like the upcoming midterms, the numbers matter. Hosted by the Center for Political Communication, UD's National Agenda 2022 Politics by the Numbers hopes to keep you informed. On September 28th, the university welcomed Denise Liu, a graphics editor at the New York Times, and Taylor Irvine, a Native American photojournalist. Both women seek to inform the public through imagery, covering topics that others maybe would never touch. Both came to give students advice and insight into the changing world of journalism and how just one voice can matter.
And if you're curious about something, like odds are other people are too. And if you find a story that resonates with you as a college student or as a woman or a man or anything, like other people will relate to it too.
For Denise, whose job is to turn data into easy-to-digest images, her mission is to educate people on the ins and outs of complicated political topics. With the midterms coming up, it's more important now than ever that college students pay attention to political matters.
I think it's one of the key factors to the future of what we want to get into.
This National Agenda event came just a month or so before the United States votes in the midterm elections.
Like, it's definitely important for us to realize the importance of voting.
College students may feel overwhelmed with their choices or unequipped to interpret everything they are seeing. But this speaker series hopes to ease the stress and remind you that your vote matters. The next speaker in the series, Nora Kelly Lee, will be coming on October 26th. For 49 News, I'm Gina Casenza.
It's midway through the semester, and UD students are asking for a break. Nicole Travis has the story.
Schools such as the University of Delaware pride themselves by doing right by their students. Aside from creating safe spaces such as the Counseling Center and 24-hour hotlines, there are also numerous clubs on campus who advocate for mental health awareness. Last February, UD even hired a new assistant vice president in the Division of Student Life, Student Wellbeing, and advertised it as advancing student well-being. With UD's continuous emphasis on mental health awareness, do UD students feel that their actions are following their claims? Many college students struggle to maintain mental health. According to the American Psychological Association's Stress in America 2021 study, Gen Z adults ages 18 to 23 reported significant stress levels, and of the Gen Z students surveyed, 87% said that their education was a major stressor. Based on the university academic calendar for fall 2022, between Labor Day and the start of Thanksgiving recess, there are no days off. Today, Monday, October 10th, is World Mental Health Day, and it was the perfect opportunity to have off.
I feel like it's so easy to burn out in college, and a break is necessary, especially for mental health. So it's just a little disappointing.
I guess I am a little bothered that we don't have a day off. I wouldn't say angry exactly, but it's something I would expect coming in, especially with college students and like the era that we're in.
You know, like mental health is obviously really important, and especially with all the pressures of school, you definitely need that time to reset So it is a little bit frustrating. Like, I've found the mental health day to be really helpful.
The new Assistant Vice President in the Division of Student Life, Student Wellbeing, wishes students knew that well-being was something that we all have to maintain. A day off would have helped. For 49 News, I'm Nicole Travis.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Mink and this is your UD Sports Update. The men's football team fell short of a comeback victory against William & Mary over the weekend with a final score of 27-21. It was a near victory for the Blue Hens as quarterback Nolan Henderson drove Delaware all the way to William & Mary's 10-yard line. However, a fumble snap secured the win for William & Mary. Henderson finished with 203 passing yards with 2 touchdowns, while wide receiver Jordan Townsend had a great connection with Henderson as he finished with 8 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. Delaware is now 5-1 for the season, as next week the Blue Hens are on their bye week and then will host Morgan State for homecoming weekend. Both soccer teams traveled over the weekend to take on their opponents. For the men's team, they traveled by Drexel with a final score of 3-1. Sidhu Shamsudseed scored Delaware's only goal to tie the game at 1-1. However, just 30 seconds later, Drexel took the lead on a penalty kick and never lost the lead. The men's team is now 2-7-2 on the season and will host UMBC tomorrow at 7 p.m. As for the women's team, they traveled up to Hofstra and ended up tying with a final score of 0-0. It was a total defensive game with goalkeeper Odalina Gomez having a career-high 8 saves. The team now has a record of 2-8-5 and will travel to Monmouth on Wednesday. Both men's and women's golf played in collegiate classics over the past week. For the men's team, they finished 4th place overall out of 12 at the Ironwood Collegiate. Casper Nerpin and Michael Bargena played excellent golf as they both tied for 6th place individually. The team will travel to the Bahamas to participate in the White Sands Invitational to close out their season. As for the women's team, they finished 12th out of 16 teams as they participated in the Ron Moore Collegiate. Christina Carroll was a standout for the Blue Hens as she placed 32nd individually for the Blue Hens. The women's team will wrap up its season next weekend when they host the Lady Blue Invitational. Both men's and women's swimming and diving teams opened their season at Raw Storm Natatorium for their pink meets. Going against both Johns Hopkins and UMBC, it was a great weekend for the Blue Hens as both teams came out victorious. For the men's team, they took 1st place in both the 1-meter and 3-meter dives, and in swimming took 1st place in both 100 and 200 flies. As for the women's team, last year most outstanding performer Mira Selling picked up where she left off last year, as she took 1st place in the 100 and 500 free. Both teams will travel up to Connecticut to take on Yale on October 22nd. Both men's and women's tennis teams traveled last week to take on their opponents. The men's team participated in the River City Open, and over the 2-day span, Delaware posted an 11-3 record. With the combined help of Alexander Gluck, Daniel Krulig, and Luis Molina, who each posted perfect single records of 2-0 to help Delaware win the weekend. As for the women's team, they took part in the Liberty Hidden Duels. Eliza Askarova and Julia Honrubia were unstoppable for the Blue Hens, as they each secured 2 single wins and teamed up for 3 double wins. The girls dominated all weekend and left with a record of 15 wins and 3 losses. For more UD Sports updates, tune into the Hen Sports Nights next Thursday on October 20th at 8:30 p.m. This has been your UD Sports Update. I'm Ryan Mink.
Neighbors in the Lumbrook and Stafford communities have recently expressed worries over reckless driving in the area. At various intersections and crosswalks across Newark, an influx of speeding has occurred, specifically from those drag racing. Concerned neighbors have come together to raise awareness through a petition for red light speeding cameras. Through more stringent monitoring systems, they hope to put an end to traffic violations in order to reinstate safety for those walking, biking, and driving through their residential community. A Newark man has been arrested and charged with his 3rd DUI this past weekend after being found in a ditch. 55-year-old Mark Rohrer was found near Kiamensi Road just after 10 p.m. on Sunday night, smelling of alcohol, police reported. Rohrer has 2 other DUIs, a domestic violence protection order, and numerous traffic violations already on his record. He has been jailed after failing to post his $3,800 cash bail. Movie theaters aren't doing so well financially, but what about our local theater? Angelica Sandoval reports.
Since the pandemic, movie theaters have been struggling to get back to their pre-pandemic height. Though some movie theaters were closed down completely as an effect of the pandemic, others are taking a hit in their lower stock values. Many movie theaters are struggling with lower admissions and limited film releases. This may discourage some movie owners from keeping doors open, but not all.
Though some may consider the movie theater industry the dying industry, that does not seem to be the case on Main Street.
As a prominent movie spot for students and families, they're helping keep doors open. Even on a slow night, the movie theater received a small rush for films such as Don't Worry Darling and Smile.
Once a month. What, every couple months? Or depends what's playing. It's hit or miss.
While not attending often, it may simply depend on what's out there.
But I would like to go like once a month if I could. If there's something good to see.
After a strong summer for the industry, with hits such as Top Gun Maverick and typical Marvel hits such as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, workers noticed an increase in admissions and see it increasing with recent releases.
Yeah, because there's a lot of movies coming out like The Woman King, and mostly scary movies like Smile and Barbarian are getting a lot of movies.
Some moviegoers keep coming back for simple things,
Popcorn.
while others come for a night out.
Oh, it's always fun. Big screen. It's more of an event. You know, it's better than sitting in the house watching TV.
Hopefully, local movie theaters will still be around for future moviegoers to enjoy.
Do you like coming to the movies?
We like the movies. We still like going to the movies. And I really enjoy the layout of this theater.
For 49 News, I'm Angelica Sandoval.
Delaware Avenue has been transformed by the Delaware Department of Transportation, allowing two-way bike traffic in a protected lane. With this new two-way bicycle traffic, drivers will need to look both ways when exiting or entering Delaware Avenue traffic. The bikeway will be completed and opened officially in mid-October. Once officially open, cyclists will be able to follow bicycle traffic signals to travel across town. Among the seasons changing, so are the drinks at coffee places. Local businesses have to take a look at their surroundings to make sure they stand out from popular chains. Meg Rossler reports.
It's no secret that college students love their daily dose of coffee. Whether it's an everyday routine, a quick pick-me-up on the go, or a way to socialize and spend time with others, coffee shops around campuses are everywhere. A common theme across Newark, Delaware for coffee shops are chain corporations that dominate most of the city. Turn the corner and there's a Dunkin' or Starbucks within a short distance. When students are coming from all over and want to find something familiar that they also have at home, those stores are where they tend to become drawn to. However, among those powerhouse businesses, there are several local shops that are located in different spots around UD's campus. Places like Drip Cafe, Little Goat Coffee Roasters, and Brouhaha have all been around for some time now, so they have figured out the specific ways they set themselves apart from the monotonous routine of chain coffee shops.
We always have a unique seasonal latte and specialty drinks that you can't get anywhere else. So like right now it's fall, everyone is drinking pumpkin spice lattes. We don't have a pumpkin spice latte. We have a cinnamon roll latte. And there's not many other places that you can find a drink like that.
What sets us apart is not only a coffee shop that serves great coffee, but we're a brunch restaurant that serves scratch-made food. You're not going to be able to get the caramel apple pancakes or the Cali anywhere else. And so we've really been able to utilize that to kind of help sustain us and battle back against some of these larger chains.
But even among all the local cafe options around campus, UD students still find themselves always going to those classic chains. Where's your favorite place to get coffee on campus?
The Dunkin' at Perkins.
Okay. Dunkin'. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a difficult question because I used to work in coffee, so I know Dunkin', but I still go to Dunkin'.
I'm pretty boring. I just drink Dunkin'. I don't know. I'd say same thing, Dunkin'. If we're to go get coffee, it'd probably be Starbucks.
Starbucks?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's really basic, but Dunkin' Donuts.
Though many students frequent places like Dunkin' and Starbucks, it is very important to keep in mind the unique places that surround their schools, because shopping local has a big effect on college towns.
We are the people who make this town something more interesting than just like a strip mall of chain stores. So if you want Newark to be like a cool, funky college town. Go out of your way to buy coffee from Little Goat as opposed to Starbucks. Go out of your way to go to El Diablo as opposed to the big corporate chain place across the street. Keeping the local businesses in business will only make New Market flourish.
For 49 News, this is Meg Rossler.
What about you? Starbucks. Doggy approves.
And that's all we have for you tonight on 49 News. Thank you for joining us, and tune in to our next show on October 24th.
Be sure to follow us on social media at 49 News. It's been a pleasure being your host tonight. I'm Gina Casenza.
And I'm Josh Desiderio. From all of us here, have a good night and stay safe.